Alright, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Duel, the XYZ Festival. Actually, just now, a few hours ago, the patch dropped. The small fix for the XYZ Festival, because before, when it got released, the XYZ Festival, the rewards were a little bit unbalanced, because for a loss you would get 50 gems, and for a win you would get 100 gems. Medals, I'm sorry. And the thing is, like, usually a win takes around, I would say, maybe 10 minutes. You can imagine if it takes 10 minutes to win. Losing, you can do that with self-burn decks, basically. Try to pay life points and making yourself have to pay life points by an effect, so you actually lose because you have to pay so many life points. And that was really efficient. Like, you could do that really efficiently, and maybe do that in probably less than a minute. You would make yourself lose. So this was a lot more efficient. You can imagine if this takes about 1 minute and it roughly takes maybe 10 minutes to actually win a duel, then it's way more efficient to actually keep on losing every time. Right now it got fixed or patched, basically, and now it's 500 for a win and still 50 for a loss. I'm not completely sure if that's a perfect balance, but I think it's around, in my opinion, I think it's around the balance. Like, the win time, how long it takes to win, it's really variable. Like, you can imagine if you go up against and also, it depends on what you're going up against, which deck you're going up against, what your opponent is playing, and also what you draw yourself, and like, it could be really variable. But I think around 10 minutes is, I guess, good for like a good average time for winning. Perhaps even a little bit less, and that's why the winning is actually then better, because if it was exactly 10 minutes, then you would lose in 1 minute, then it would be completely balanced. But if you win a little bit faster than 10 minutes, then this is a good balance. Like, it should be more rewarding to win. Alright, so that is where it is right now, and we have been playing quite a bit as well. If we go here, Duel, XYZ Festival, we are currently at 13,000 gems. So we ended yesterday, before the fix, we ended at I think it was 7 or 8,000, and I just played some more games today, and honestly we're doing really well in the XYZ Festival. I think lately we got some losses, yeah, because I had to go, actually. So like, in the middle of the duel, if you have to leave the duel for some reason, then of course it's you just have to surrender, or it's gonna time you out. But other than that, we actually did really well. Yeah, for example, you can see right here, here we had nothing but wins, and of course, like, these are all battles versus non-suicide players, so basically none of the self-burn decks, because those win-loss ratios are all skewed anyway. But yeah, as you can see, this is basically how we're doing. We actually got 4 wins here, then a loss, then we got 6 wins, then a loss, then 3 wins, and then yeah, we got into these shenanigans. But yeah, overall we're doing really good, in my opinion, and I think our deck is actually made very well for it. We're playing with Sacred Beast. I'll show you. We're not only the Sacred Beast, I've just been playing around with some decks, and I think a lot of people do that, and that's why I actually like the XYZ Festival a lot, because it's not all the standard same decks. Like, it's not you'll see Sky Strikers, Tri-Brigade, Drytron, Filter World every time, and with all the standard hand traps, you will just see the same decks every time normally in ranked duels. That's really what I don't like, personally, and what is in XYZ the case, it's XYZ Festival the case, so you see like different decks. At least I see people trying out different decks, but of course it will still include all the staples and the strong standard cards, and that's still unfortunately really boring to me, but yeah, so be it. So we have the pure Phantasm Spiral. We were playing with this deck as well. Phantasm Spiral deck, I like it. I just built it because it's really cheap to build. We got the Unexpected Die, which is we cannot even dismantle because we got it at the start. We have the Skill Drain, which we got for the Sacred Beast deck anyway. So, and the rest of the cards are literally all normal and rare cards. So yeah, this was a really fun and easy deck to build. I did more of that, and also some other cards that I crafted, and now I'm actually pretty low on the normal and rare crafting points. But yeah, and we're also playing with the Sacred Beast deck, and I think the reason why we're doing decently well is because our deck is basically already made to play without an extra deck, I think. Yeah, we can definitely include some extra XYZ plays, and I've also done some of that. But yeah, let's just see. First of all, let's actually claim all of these missions, because we completed all of the missions. We haven't reached 20,000 medals yet. We will do that, but yeah, we just got all of these missions completed, and yeah, that was honestly pretty easy to do. You could easily do that in a week. So Right, let's claim the rewards. We got over 1000 gems. That's amazing. And we also worked on some challenges. If you saw at the deck list that I just showed, there's also some challenge decks, or they are named challenges, and I'm actually I'll just try to work on these as well. I've just included some Gemini monsters. You can imagine if you have a format where you can play around with, they can actually try to go for some challenges as well. You can just try to make some fun decks, decks that you've always wanted to try out, and that's a way more fun format to me. People will, as long as people will also try to do that. And in ranked duels, it's because it's competitive. Like, I like the competitiveness, don't get me wrong, but not if it actually goes to every player playing the same type of decks, every player and mainly it's players including the same cards, so you all have the same staples. It's not that interesting to me. Okay, so we have I think I'll just leave this. I don't see a reason to claim it yet. Maybe we can claim this, but other than that, let's leave it at that, and let's go into some replays of the XYZ duels that we've done. So I actually recently deleted some of my replays because it's getting full pretty quickly. Like, you can only save 10 if I'm correct on that number. Only 10, and you quickly fill up your duels, your replays. At least I do. So I tend to cleanse it every once in a while, but I actually saved 2 of the exhibition replays. So those are the XYZ Festival, and yeah, I guess we'll start with this one. Doesn't really matter which, but as you probably saw already, both took quite some turns, and I think those duels are, in my opinion, the best duels. Like, I really like those duels in general. So let's see what actually went on in this duel. I think it's a pretty cool thing because I generally don't remember all too well what happened in the duel either. So first of all, we have a decent hand. We have the field spell, and that's basically what we want to see for this deck. If we see the field spell, then the other cards are just support, I guess. Like, you don't really need another card. Like, this card is good to have. This card's also pretty good to have in addition to your field spell. But the main thing is your field spell, and this is, of course, also, if it doesn't get negated and everything, like, it's a little bit more lengthy way to get to the field spell, and whereas it could get negated by, for example, infinite impermanence or something, whereas this couldn't. If you have it immediately in the hand. But yeah, so it's a little bit more a lengthy way to get to it, but it's also hopefully the field spell. So let's actually see what we've done. Okay, so our opponent starts and he puts face down cards. I think I remember this duel. Okay, so we try to get the field spell to the hand with that effect first, just so we get that out of the way. And we also put our cards face down, and he puts the 5th card face down. And because he doesn't activate any card effect, we do not special summon a token, and we do not add cards to the hand because we special summon the token. He doesn't activate any card or effect, he just sets cards. Okay, so it's our turn again. And that's how we go back and forth, and until I actually put down the other Torrential Tribute as well. Now he activates a Paleozoic card, and you can already guess it, he's playing a Paleozoic deck, so his deck is mainly consisting of trap cards anyway. So he destroys our field spell, and he destroys another card on the field, and that's when he can special summon back his Paleozoic monster from the graveyard. Alright, sure. Yeah, he used another Paleozoic card, flips his monster face up, and then he can special summon the other Paleozoic monster, which he just sent to the graveyard. So that's actually what Paleozoic monsters are all about. So he's gonna XYZ summon into the Paleozoic monster, but then we have Skill Drain. Just about when he's activating his card effect, we activate Skill Drain, so his effects get negated. But he does chain this onto it. Wait, pause. Yes, he does chain this card onto it, and then he chains this Paleozoic Dynamiscus onto it because one of these cards. Yeah, this actually says you can activate Paleozoic trap cards from your hand. So that's basically it isn't negated yet. We're in the middle of the chain, so the Skill Drain isn't active yet. So this card still has its effects, and yeah, this he can still activate that from the hand. So he activated it. That's gonna go resolve first, then this special summon, then this is already from the field, so it doesn't do anything anymore, and his effect resolves. So we're in a pretty, and he even special summons it totally awesome. So that's a pretty bad position, but luckily we have the Torrential Tribute, so we get rid of his Torrential Tribute, or his monster, because he has to tribute his own monster in order to negate our effect. But then he sets this card to his field. Fortunately, we actually had the other Phantasm Spiral, so we activated it. And he activates his effect again to add 1 Paleozoic trap card from your deck to your hand. We chain Dynamiscus. We don't negate his effect, but we do banish the monster. And trap card's activated, so he special summons a Paleozoic monster back from the graveyard. So you can see what this battle was like. It's a pretty cool battle in my opinion. I think this is a lot of going back and forth. Alright, so he activated an effect. Finally we special summon a token. Finally we add a card to our hand. That's it's about time. So he puts down even 5 cards, and of course in his turn still we activate our Phantasm Spiral Battle, because we then destroy one of his cards when he cannot chain his card to our card, because he just set this card, the card this turn. So he cannot activate it in response to our destruction effect. Alright, pause, and then it's our turn. Draw, yes. Then we just attack him because we have a token of 2000 attack, which is more than his. He puts it face down. Oh yeah, he runs Ice Dragon Prison. It's a pity to see. I mean, yeah, it's a good trap card, and you want trap cards in your deck. But yeah, it's also, yeah, it's just a really strong, good spell card in general. But unfortunately for him, because this card actually requires to special summon one monster from our graveyard, I'll just read it. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but its effects are negated. Then you can banish one monster from both players' fields that have the same type as each other. So if your opponent runs like 2 zombie monsters, for example, you can just special summon his zombie monster, then banish the zombie monster, and banish the opponent's zombie monster as well. And it's a non-target banish from the field. So that's really good. But unfortunately we don't even run that many monsters. We only run 1 monster in this deck. Like the other monsters that we have are the tokens. And even if we had another monster, then it would just be the worm monster, which is not even the same as this machine monster. So what he's gonna do instead is just special summon the monster to his field, and then just not banish, because it's an optional effect. But he did activate our Torrential Tribute, which is completely fine. He might not understand the mechanics of Phantasm Spiral, because he activated a card effect, even though it was our card, but still he activated a card effect in next chain, and it changed to it, but it chains to it, but in the next chain actually it only activates. The Phantasm Spirals, Phantasm City actually, because our opponent activates a card effect, we special summon a token again. And because we special summon a token, we add a card to the hand, and this is still all in the battle phase, so we still have our monster, and we can still attack. We used our Phantasm Spiral Battle on one of his cards. Turn change, he has 4 cards face down, and he has Lost Wind as well, a really strong card. I've mentioned it before, if you've watched one of the other episodes. It's a cheap, basically it's a rarity card, and it's a really strong card against most decks in general, but not against our deck, because basically it's negate its effects, also original attack is half. So basically we get our attack health, but it already doesn't have effect, so it doesn't really matter for the effect negation. But trap card's activated, so Dynamiscus comes back. Special summon it to the field. Can attack, yep, I guess so. Because we can attack with it still. Then we can add a card to the hand because we special summoned a normal monster. We destroy another of its cards. And he chains to it because we activated a trap card. So it's pretty cool. We actually both work with a lot of trap cards. We only have one Paleozoic monster, of course, but we work with a lot of trap cards in general. And he actually benefits from any trap card activated, because every Paleozoic monster, I'm sorry I should have read this earlier, but every Paleozoic monster has once per chain when a trap card is activated while this card's in your graveyard, special summon this card as a normal monster, blah 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 blah. And then if it summons unaffected by monster effects, but yeah, that doesn't matter because we don't even have monster effects. So yeah, that's actually what every Paleozoic monster has, so it just revives itself every time. But banish it when it leaves field, by the way, right? Also banish it when it leaves field, yeah, so it can only be used once. Alright, so this is gonna get banished then. Yep, and our monster as well, because Dynamiscus is also a Paleozoic monster. Then he targets our field spell, it's gonna get destroyed. We cannot do anything about it. Alright, yep, that's gone. Then he has Dynamiscus. He targets his own monster, that's the only face-up card on the field right now, so he banishes his own monster, but he just wanted to special summon the monster from the graveyard. I'm not sure if that was the smartest thing, but alright, he special summons with another Ice Dragon's Prison, he special summons the Planet Pathfinder again. And he just wants to activate a trap card, that's basically it. Then he can special summon his Paleozoic monster, and Totally Awesome is back. So right now we're in a pretty bad position, as you can imagine, right? And this even has, like, once per turn during the standby phase, you can detach one material from this card, special summon one frog monster from your deck. So that's also coming. So we're in a pretty difficult position, as you can imagine. So we activate Planet Pathfinder, he lets it go, and then we activate the... And then, yeah, okay, I figured he was gonna use this. He was gonna use this effect on Phantasm Spiral. But that's completely fine, because we have Unexpected Die in the hand and Phantasm Spiral Grip. Phantasm Spiral Grip actually gives it 500 attack, so... He has Solemn Judgment though, that's it's a really good spell card, trap card, but unfortunately, and again, really strong trap, which, yeah, I'm not sure if you, like, again, if you want to go for rinse, always run it. You're a madman if you don't run this, because it's incredibly strong and it's a trap card that fits in your deck. But yeah, it's just an incredibly good card. Doesn't fit the archetype like anything else, if you would ask me. But fortunately, we now have a normal monster, so we could activate our what is it? Spell speed 3 counter trap. Yeah, counter trap card, Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyu, which actually does fit the deck because it requires us to have face-up non-effect monsters, or at least one, and then we can activate it, and then we can actually negate. It's an omni-negate, similar to Solemn Judgment. No, this actually negates summons or spell trap activations. But yeah, ours is negate the activation of spell trap, monster spell trap card, or monster effect activated. So not spell trap effect, it's only a card activation, or a monster effect. Yeah, okay. So we negate this because it's spell trap card activation. So we negate this, and then we actually get to equip our monster with the 500 attack boost, and as you can guess, we can just beat over it now. So completely fine. This actually changed the table, turned the tables a little bit, and as you can see, this is actually a really interesting battle. At least to me, I really like this battle because it's a lot of going back and forth rather than just settling it all in most in maximum 5 turns. And because we have Phantasm Spiral Grip, we special summon our dear Phantasm Spiral Dragon, and then next turn we beat him with our Phantasm Spiral Dragon. So this was actually a really interesting battle. I think this was I really enjoyed battles like these. Not every other battles in the XYZ tournament was like this, of course, but yeah, it was really fun. Without further ado, let's go into the next battle. I just saved 2 of these battles because of space sakes. But yeah, let's see what this battle was about. I'm not sure if I remember it all too well, but probably when I see a little bit, then it will come back to me a little bit. We start, okay. We have Planet Pathfinder, that's decent because it's our access to the field spell. Heavily Dragon Circles, also decent. Orange Tribute's decent. As you can see, like all the other cards, they're just decent. They're pretty good, as long as you have the field spell. Let's speed it up. Alright, Phantasm Spiral, we put it face up, we put these face down. I just wanted to say, we put this, Unizombie, interesting. We put this face down because it's a quick play spell. We can use it during our opponent's turn, and we can use it to tribute 1 worm monster, add 1 worm monster from your deck to your hand. Or if you tributed a non-effect monster, activate this card, you can special summon it instead. So basically we special summon it always. And also it has an effect in the graveyard, but we cannot use it during the same turn that we use this effect. So we like to use this during our opponent's turn, and then its graveyard's effect we can use during our own turn. Alright, so he had Unizombie. We activated Torrential Tribute to get rid of the Unizombie because it's an incredibly good monster. And it has crazy effects, but not an ignition on normal or special summon. You just have to activate it. But luckily our Torrential Tribute goes first. Then he has Card Destruction, a really good card in a zombie deck in general, but yeah, I don't know why it's not banned, but alright, so he draws 4 cards, we draw 2 cards. He has White Prince, so as you can see, Skull Servant, this is gonna be a Skull Servant deck, you can see Skull Servant here, Mizuki here, the Armageddon Knight here. He activated card effect, so we special summon a token, we add a card to the hand. Fantastic Spiral Battle, perfect. Then he has a card face down, and he has a Danger card, very interesting. Okay, Danger got discarded, so he draws a card, which is Plague Spreader Zombie. Alright, he banishes White Prince, special summons this card. We'll special summon Unizombie again with Mizuki, but we have Fantastic Spiral Battle. We know all too well how this deck works, of course, it's a really strong deck. Focuses on King of the Skull Servant, making him really big. There are a lot of cards in the graveyard which are treated as, which change their name to Skull Servant in the graveyard. And this card actually gains attack. This original attack of this card is the combined number of King Skull Servants and Skull Servant in your graveyard times 1000. So, and the second effect sometimes comes up, but that's basically it. You just try to buff up this monster a lot, and you have another monster, Lady in White, which actually protects your provides some protection for your King of the Skull Servant. Alright, so we normal summon our monster, we actually add a card to the hand. It's gonna be Phantasm Spiral Battle again. Then we go into the battle phase. Let's see. Okay, we attack and nothing happens. Alright, perfect. And then he has Call of the Haunted. He's gonna bring a Armageddon Knight, because then you can send 1 dark monster to the graveyard. And it will be White Baking, of course, that's a really good card. You add White Prince and Nightmare or something. Yeah, Nightmare is usually the best one. And then you discard 1 card, it will be White Prince, of course, yeah. White Prince, when it's discarded, Lady White and Skull Servant. You add send to the graveyard. So now there are a lot of Skull Servants in the graveyard, but luckily we have some cards right here. So let's see how we're gonna win this, because this is actually against a really interesting deck. I'm not sure if he plays the staple cheap cards. But so by the way, this is also a thing that I wanted to show. Pause. So basically, what happened now? He during his turn he didn't activate any card or effect, so we could not use this once per turn effect, which is once per turn, and we could not use it during his turn because it didn't use any effect. So we could not special summon a token or anything. He just set a card face down, and that's when we could actually make use of the Heavenly Dragon Circle in his turn, because we tribute one worm monster and special summon a Phantasm Spiral Dragon. And since we special summon the normal monster, exactly one normal monster, then we can add a card to the hand again. So that's actually a way to trigger this effect by yourself during your opponent's turn, because this is a quick play spell. And as I just said, like, it's useful to use it during your opponent's turn, because then we can use its actual graveyard effect during our own turn, as we will probably do right now. So we draw Phantasm Spiral Power. That's a pity because we can easily add it to the hand generally. So yeah, we banish it. We add the Pistol Rifle Tingy card to the hand. Alright, so he has Lady in White. I'll just show you. Face up level 3 or lower zombie monsters on the field except Lady White cannot be destroyed by battle. That's not usually a problem for King of Skull Servants, as you can imagine. But also they are unaffected by spell trap cards and effects. So that's really good. That's honestly a pretty good protection in general. They are still affected by monster effects, which is, I guess, in the modern meta game most prevalent. But still, like, it's pretty good, especially against us, because we only have spell and traps effects, right? We don't even have any monster effects, so. Alright, but it's dead right now, so he revives King of Skull Servant with his Call of the Hunted. Alright, welcome back. Activates card effect, we special summon a token, we add a card to their hand. It will be power. And it negates, this actually negates monster effects, so that's, yeah, that's gonna come up, I guess. Alright, he has Nightmare, and he can special summon one of his Lady in White, which is banished. Oh, we negate it? Okay. He negates our negate with Solemn Judgment. That's a pity that he plays the staple card. But we negate his Solemn Judgment with our counter trap. Okay, cool. So this is a pretty cool chain. It's all counter traps, except for Nightmare, of course. Alright. So that didn't happen. Book of Life, he can special summon with Lady in White, sure. He banished our Planet Pathfinder, doesn't do much for us. And then we activate this. Okay. See, stealth attack. Doesn't do anything right now, but Lady in White, yeah. Okay, we use this effect, by the way, to banish one water monster you control until the end phase, but we banished our token, so it's not coming back during the end phase or anything. But then face up spell traps you control can be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Not like that was gonna happen, but now we can special summon the token again anyway, because he's using effects, and we don't have a token. So welcome back, token. So that was pretty free, and we add a card to the hand because we special summon the token. So that's a useful way to get rid of the token yourself. So he's attacking. We cannot do anything about it. But here he's gonna attack, and we actually negate this effect. I wasn't completely sure. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that like otherwise it would have been destroyed by card effect because of the sea stealth attack. But now we negated a Lady in White effect, and now it is affected by card effects. And this actually says once per turn banish one. Oh no. At the start of the damage step, if your water monster whose original level is 5 or higher battles an opponent's monster, destroy that opponent's monster. And this is actually level 5 or higher. The other monster that we had right here wasn't water nor level 5 or higher, so that didn't matter for that monster. Alright, so now it destroys itself, like it destroys it by card effect. And this monster has its effect again. So, alright, so we have 3 Phantasm Spirals, or at least 2 in the hand and 1 here. So yeah, we attack that first and destroy it by card effect, and then we can destroy this also by card effect, which will be the trap card effect, obviously. 12 phase. So our opponent's turn, let's see what he's got. It's wow, he top decks Unizombie. That's so good, by the way. This is the best card that he could have drawn here. Unfortunately for him, we have Phantasm Spiral Power, which actually negates monster effects for 1 turn. So he's still gonna try to activate it, but it's not gonna work, unfortunately. End phase. Yeah. He's back to normal, but we will kill him, of course, before he can use its effect next turn. Unexpected Die, dead card right now. We could have activated this, by the way. Oh, attacks a defense position monster. Ah, yeah, I took this out of the deck right now. Inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So I took this one out of the deck. I actually, I don't remember the name, but I only have 1 equipped spell in it right now, which actually lets you discard a card from your opponent's hand. But alright, so we destroyed it. Yep. Then we use the same effect. We banish our monster to just not have a token. So if our opponent activates anything, then we will get our token back. And yes, he does, so we will get our token back. But we also negate his effects, because this actually lets him send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. And we don't want that. Zombies are all about having monsters in the graveyard with very useful effects. So yes, we're getting our token back, and then we can add a card to the hand as well. So we will add the other one. This is also not the one that I have. I have the other one. Basically, there are only 3 Phantasm Spiral equip cards, and we have the last one. So right now I think he's gone, right? This is it. Oh, we destroyed by card effect, mandatory. And then then he special summons a monster. Okay, cool. Then we attack it again, and it's destroyed by card effect. Send to the graveyard. Add to the hand White Prince and Knighmare again. No, okay, can you use Skull Servant? Sure. And discard White Prince. Doesn't have its effect activated because he doesn't have the 2 targets in the deck anymore. We had to discard cards from our hand because we have too many. Let's see what he has. Okay, he's gonna try to attack over it, but he didn't read our trap card. We killed it by effect anyway. He has Plague Spreader Zombie. Put 1 card. Yeah, this Broken Tuner card. Discards in your graveyard. You can place 1 card from your hand on top of the deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Yeah. He activated card effect. Token is coming back. We add a card to the hand, and it will be the only card that we have left, probably the Phantasm Spiral card, only that we have left. Alright, so it's our draw phase. We draw. Doesn't really matter what we draw. We just attack and attack again. I think that's it. Alright. Yep, that's it. Alright, so this was a really interesting battle. I also like the Skull Servant deck a lot. I think that's a really interesting deck. He did run some standard staples like summon. So what was it? Summoning Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment. So one of them. But basically, those were actually really fun battles, I think. And yeah, I really enjoyed the battles, which were, I guess, caused by the XYZ event, because that was actually a battle that I faced in the XYZ event. And even though he didn't use any XYZ cards, neither did we, but yeah, those were actually some really interesting battles. And that's what I really liked about the events. People just try to make different decks and actually try to play with it, and you can actually get to those decks, because you can imagine, like, not only me, which is in a position when I'm playing against incredibly strong decks in the ranked duels, that just gets fed up by playing those decks, right? You don't want to play anymore if you just face Drytron, Tri-Brigade, and Virtual World, and all those insanely long combo decks. It gets so boring every time you have to watch the entire show of them playing the one-man game, basically, if you don't have any negates or anything, right? It's just gonna be really boring, and you just get fed up with playing. And I'm probably even the person who doesn't even get too fed up with it. I guess other players as well of this game get incredibly fed up with it. Like they don't want to play anymore. Like if they just see that 3 times in a row, they're just gonna quit and be like, yo, no, never mind, I'm not gonna play this game anymore. But if they do play this XYZ tournament festival, then you can actually have battles like this, right? And you can actually have quite some decent fun and have some going back and forth duels, and this is so much fun. Like these 2 battles especially, I'm glad that I saved these, and now that I recorded them both as well, those were a lot of fun to me. Like I'd love to see plenty of these duels. I'd love to see a format where this is actually the way to go. And I can imagine that that's never gonna happen, because you want to have strong decks only, and if you want to go for competitive play. But if you just put 2 weaker decks against each other, you will have such fun duels in general, guys. So that's what I actually look forward to in any of the upcoming events, what they plan to release. And yeah, I really like what this event brought. And yeah, that will conclude the video actually. So I want to thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed and did not mind my ramble. And I hope to see you in any of the next videos. Peace out.